waifus. We all technically have one. We've all have seen an anime where we're just like, man, oh man, I wish she was real. To our disappointment, we all know that's not the case. So recently I watched Darling in the Franxx and it was actually pretty interesting. You know, I'm not usually the one who watches mecha, honestly, but I kept getting told that the mecha in Darling in the Franxx is very minimal, so I decided to make an exception, sit down and watch my darling 02. One of the first things I want to talk about is a concept, and this concept is called waifu bait. Now, what is waifu bait? Waifu bait is when a company creates a character specifically to quote unquote become your waifu. They make that character in a very specific way with very specific personality traits in order to grab your attention to sell their anime. One of the main complaints that I tend to hear is that 02 herself is actually waifu bait, mainly because people are just like, hey, she looks like an e-girl and she says darling every 5 seconds. Now, I am a believer that not all bait is actually bad bait. Let's actually take what people said, right? That 02 is waifu bait. I beg a question. Do you not think every other character that was made, not in just Darling in the Franxx, but any anime, was specifically planned out? This is usually the case. They tend to actually sit and think about the characters and how they might interact with the fans or how fans might perceive them. So this concept doesn't fully make sense, as every single character is bait in one way or another. Now, outside of the obvious culture that is Darling in the Franxx, we can see that 02 took off in popularity rather quickly. With her aggressively flirty attitude and a gentle smile, she took the internet by storm. Now, I'm a firm believer that 02 took the internet by storm primarily for one reason, and that's mainly because she flirted back and actually showed some interest in the protagonist, Hikaru. She has her shy moments, most definitely, but overall, 02 was not afraid to be affectionate towards someone she liked. And I do understand that, you know, when they first met, Hikaru and 02, it wasn't, you know, the best of circumstances and they weren't in the best of moods. In a good amount of anime, the girl is not too straightforward, right? They'll like the guy and kind of keep it to themselves, usually really dainty, shy, and unable to show proper feelings outside of just thinking to themselves about how they feel. So in hindsight, and after looking on the internet and kind of reading around what people said, and not only this, me just watching the anime and experiencing this for myself, it kind of seems unanimous that it's primarily refreshing because she flirts back and shows that genuine interest in the protagonist, which let's be honest, it does happen, but it's very rare. Another thing to consider is the cast of the anime itself. If we lined up all of the girls, it's kind of apparent that 02 sticks out like a sore thumb. This is partially the reason why people believe that 02 is waifu bait. In contrast to the cast, it's easier to notice 02 and her personality compared to everybody else. And even once you do decide to start watching the anime, you know, 02 flirts quite a bit and says darling every 5 seconds like a teenager completely obsessed with Justin Bieber or something. Now, besides all of that, usually when you ask people about their waifu, who's their favorite, all of these things, 02 pops up, and it's no surprise at this point. A lot of people actually expect the answer 02 to be coming out of people's mouths when they talk about waifu. So I just wanted to ask one question: is it deserved? And to be honest, after experiencing it for myself, it really does seem like it. She seems like someone who's just ride or die. And not only this, very energetic. She can get you out of your box. And that's something that a lot of people like. I completely understand girls' side too. They love her makeup, they love her hair, they love just how different she is when it comes to an aesthetic. Now, I do know what you're thinking. In the beginning of the video, I brought up the concept of waifu bait, and now you're kind of like, well, why would you do that? That's because there seems to be this mindset of if the character is waifu bait, they shouldn't be eligible to be a waifu because it's a form of pandering in a way, right? You're specifically making a character for a specific purpose. Now, this goes to the point that I said in the beginning of the video, every character ever made, not even just in anime to be quite honest, this is even in movies and stuff like that, this is widespread, this is quite normal, regardless of how they look and the personality and all these things that go into account. This just brings me to my second question, actually. Well, guys, if Zero Two is waifu bait, even if I give you the benefit of the doubt and say, yeah, that is correct, my question then becomes, well, did you eat it? Did you take the bait? Did it taste good? Was you smacking on it like some wings? You probably was, honestly, because Darling in the Franxx is a very popular anime that a lot of people tend to talk about even to this day. I do throw the ball in you guys' court. Go down in the comment section below. Is Zero Two waifu or no waifu? Thanks for watching and everything. Like, comment, subscribe, the whole 9 yards. Join the Discord. I stream every day on Twitch and TikTok, but Tuesday and Wednesday. Thank you guys, and I will see you next time.
Darling, darling だ Darling の Darling の Darling の Darling の Darling の Darling のね Darling Darling の Darling 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 も Darling の Darling の Darling Darling ね Darling Darling